Welcome back, everyone, for the story session for the Untold story of Sita Swadhyay series that we are reading these days, that I'm narrating for you guys. So we were at the point where Mata had a vision that Mata had a dream, had a dream that she has to move to the forest, and she was not sure how she will be able to do this because now she's not by herself. She has twins. She's pregnant with the twins, right? So and then when she went to the ashram, the rishi sages, women sages were there, and one of them was her own mother from the previous birth, Khyati Ma. So Khyati told Sita Mata how Rishi Bhrigu had given a curse, and Ram in previous birth, who was Narayan, had taken that curse upon himself, and Narayani, who was Sita in this birth, had accepted that curse. And so Khyati Ma explained Sita Mata how she has to take this curse. And this curse is basically not a curse, but in a way it's a blessing, because Mata wanted her kids to grow up in the forest just like she grew up in that open environment, right? So then Mata says, who will tell Ram, that I will be separated again from him? So Khyati Ma says, don't worry about that. Rishi Vashisht is on his way, and he will tell everything to, he will jog his memory, and he will remind Ram everything. Soma says that Soma remembers the words of Mata Arundhati. Mata Arundhati says, from now on and well into the future, the forest will be under threat. And we see that forest are under threat. So it's more like a prediction from some old sage, right? So Arundhati said, Rishi Arundhati said, one day they could even disappear completely, and this earth could become a barren place like so many other planets, stripped of all life. So this is like a prediction that was done so many years ago for our planet, right? So she also, Arundhati Mama also told Sita Mata that in freeing Raman, Ram released a quality of love previously unknown to earth. You must take this love now and embed it into the human heart so that the life on this planet will be protected. So the plant life will diminish, but the humans have to survive so they can revive the plants. So the love that has been diminished because of Ravan's death, because Ravan had also much negative energy in him, and he had created that negative energy around him. So you have to take that love and spread it all around. So after listening to Rishi Arundhati, Mata was also very relaxed, and she figured that this is her responsibility to do that. And she was very calm about this. So she says that no, and then she see Ramji coming along with Rishi Vashisht. And so Ramji tells Sita Mata, this will not be the case now that before we got separated, right? When Raman was there, we got separated, our connection got broken. But this time, no being now has a power to break our unity. I will never leave you, and you will never leave me. So how we see in today's Ramayana that Ramji has no connection with Sita in the after the Dhobi story, one of the citizens told them that Sita is not capable to stay as a queen because she stayed with Ravan so long, as we hear in today's Ramayana on our televisions. But this is not the case according to Dina Ma'am's vision. According to Dina Ma'am's vision, Ramji says that I will be in connection with you, and Ramji stayed in connection with Sita Mata. And Mata says Mata could feel all the responsibilities that he had to take care of being as a king. But when he came to visit her in the forest, he was a one father, one husband. So, all that back and forth, imagine you're traveling husbands or a wife, if she's traveling, how it affects everybody's life. So it did take a toll on Ram because he was in a human body. He's a god, but he's in a human body. So all that feelings, all that struggles that a human does. So he is going through that at some point. So then Ramji talks to Khyati Ma and tells Khyati Ma that I thank you so much for weakening this curse, because if Khyati Ma had not weakened that curse, then Ram and Sita's separation was going to happen. So Khyati Ma was very upset that her husband Bhrigu had cursed Narayan and Narayani in the previous birth. And so Ramji says to Khyati Ma that, it's time that she should forgive her husband for what he did by cursing Narayan and Narayani. And Ramji also said to Kyatima that, I could feel the pain in Rishi Bhrigu's voice. And when we met him, that he feels bad that he had cursed his own son-in-law and his own daughter. So Kyatima says, I need to sit down in meditation, calm myself down, and accept the fact that my husband, what he did, he basically let it go and forgive him. Because Ramji said that in the end, so this is another thing this woman Khyati Rishi Ma did. In the end, Khyati is the one who will be the cause, will become the reason that will be helpful for her husband to go to and join, be in the Brahman, right? Because she could have easily gone, right? She stayed there so she could help her husband realize his mistake. So another beautiful thing that a wife does for her husband, she does not go join the Brahman, and she says, I will go to the Brahman, to the Vaikuntha with my husband. So she stays back until her husband realizes his mistake, that in anger, he did not realize what he has cursed, who he has cursed. It was not the complete fault for Usana's death, right? His second wife's death. Usana had taken upon that himself. She had told Narayan, you can take my body, but I am not going to give. I have to keep my promise. So she offered herself that, give me moksha, give me mukti, and I'm willing to die. But Rishi Bhrigu did not know all this. He just was upset. He saw his wife dead and he just cursed, and he didn't even care who he was cursing. Later, he had found he had cursed his own son-in-law and a daughter. And they had both taken the curse upon, accepted the fact, basically. So then then at this point, Soma was like, now if all this separation is happening, will Mata leave me alone again? Mata will leave me in palace and go back in the forest again. Will I have to stay away from Mata? So she was still in her thoughts, and everybody gets this discussion is over, and they have kind of decided that Mata will come back in the forest, and they go back to, for now, Mata is going back to palace with Ramji. So once they reach the palace, Soma shows her concerns to Mata, and she says, Mata, are we going to separate again? Mata says, no, I will take you with me this time. So finally, it gets decided that Ramji will pick a very beautiful forest near River Ganga for Mata. And so not to disturb the whole family, and so many questions from all the mothers, the three mothers that Ramji had, all these questions and answering, it's better to let Sita go, and Lakshman will go drop Mata before everybody wakes up in the palace. So this has been modified in our Ramayana, but according to Mata's, Dina ma'am's vision, this was the thing, that this is the reason that was given to them. So this ends my chapter 18. Now I will start my chapter 19, Life in Forest. So before I start this chapter, I would like to introduce another character here. Her name is Shanta. Shanta was a sister of Shri Ram. She was born before Ramji from Kausalyama. And at very early age, she got married to a rishi, and her husband's name was Rishyas Ringa. And she had given up her life of princess to be with her husband. But she was a immense role model, and we have never heard. I never heard about Shanta unless I started reading this book. So Shanta was a source of inspiration for Ram. And even though when Ram was born, she was not there because she was married by then. And but she used to come in Ram's visions, Ram's meditation, and she used to come in Ram's dreams and guide them. She was a spiritual master for Ramji, and guided him very along the path when they were in exile. How she was one of the people who were protecting Sita Mata. So, this is, so Mata had met her one time when she got married. And so this time when she wanted to come visit Mata while they came back after the exile. But, back then there was not a railway, no planes, right? So she had to travel on the foot. So by the time she could give her plan of coming and meeting Ramji and Sita ji in the palace, they ended up in the separation happened, Mata had to come back in the forest. So Shanta decided to come meet Mata in the forest. So this is the chapter now starts. Sita Mata is in forest. Life in the forest is the name of the chapter. So as I given you the introduction, who Shanta was. So Shanta was very kind, and Mata had a very good relationship with her sister-in-law. Shanta says, when I heard about the exile, I was very heartbroken that how come this separation again happens. So she was kind of more like upset that her sister-in-law Bhabi had to come back in the forest. So then Sita Mata sits down in the meditation with Shanta, and she shows her how her past life was, and she explains how that whole curse thing happened. And in a way, it's a blessing because Mata always wanted the kids to be born in the forest so they can learn the hard life. See, hard life, if somebody has, going to the easy life is very easy. But Mata did not wanted her kids to learn get all the privileges of a prince and then teaching them to go in the hard life in the forest. So Mata wanted to make them rough and tough, basically, right? So that's what the whole Mata's plan was. So then when she sees all that with Mata in her past life, and now Shanta knows about it, Shanta says to Mata, the world will benefit from your sacrifice, Sita. But it saddens to me that Ayodhya does not honor its women. Because as I mentioned in the few last chapters, that how Ayodhya was becoming a place of power, and how people were disrespected, especially women there, because it was more like everything was about money. Money was coming in the way of a lot of people at this point. Mata then tells to Shanta, please don't say that. There is nobody that Ram respects more than you. You were so kind to have come on this long journey to come with us, and Ram always talks very nicely about you, very highly about you, and how you have guided him through his thoughts, how you've been taught and talked to your brother in the thoughts. And however way he talks about his brothers, he also talks about you too. And then Shanta says that you have I'm like you, Sita, like you have chosen the path to work behind the curtains, behind the shadows. I want to be like that. So Shanta is working in the background as well, like Sita Mata. So Shanta has a very broad smile, that knowing that somebody's acknowledging her, because it's love. Love is there, that she's missing her brother as well. So how modest these two ladies are, that what work they are doing for the society, and yet they don't want to brag it out. And Mata also tells Shanta that when she was in danger, when Raman came to threaten, and all that mind games he had played, and how Parvati Ma was there. And when couple situation happened with Parvati Ma, there's some other saintly women came to help Mata and get that group energy going. Mata says, between all these women, I saw you as well. So Mata was again thankful to Shanta for being there for that all support system that she had done. So and then Soma says that both of the women used to sit down for a long time in meditation and be absorbed in the spiritual discussions. And after the kids were born, Shanta was the first one who actually held the brothers' kids. So Bua was the first one. Shanta aunt was the first one who held the kids in their hands. After the kids got a little bit taken care of, after a few days the kids were born, Shanta left back to go to her husband's hermitage. And Urmila, Sita Ma's younger sister, came and helped Mata in the forest to take care of the babies. See how we hear in the Ramanand Sagar's Ramayana, or today's Ramayana that we read of, that there was no connection, but here we see that Bua came, then Masi came to take care of the kids, right? So about talking about Shanta, Mata had also said that the world is blessed to have a woman like that. One day the world will know about you. And Mata will see her once more before she leaves her body. And Mata was always praised and kept her in her Shanta in her prayers as well. And then came the day when Ramji came and held his kids. And when that moment happened, the joy that he felt, it was the love that when Ramji held the kids, it felt like that love spread all over the world. The father was and children bond that happened that instant felt like it was, there, all was spread around the world. So Soma says that it was very nice environment when Ramji used to come and take care of the kids, help Mata. So we see back and forth how Ramji will come and connect with Sita and how special things that Ramji does for Sita Mata. Soma says it took me, Soma then tells Ansuya, the one she's telling the story, right? Meenakshi from our previous birth is Ansuya. It took me many years to understand why Mata had been called again to the forest. But she had to undergo this tapasya. Tapasya means meditation. Yet again, but for all she had to endure, it was that much more difficult for Shri Ram because he felt the separation more than Mata itself, because Mata had her kids to keep her busy. But Ramji, all day he would be busy with his work from the kingdom, talking to the citizens, taking care of the responsibilities as a king. But he would feel, and sometimes it would Mata would feel that Ramji is having difficult time. So whenever Ramji would visit, Mata would give Ramji healing through food. Would give all that, put some herbs in his food whenever Ramji would visit Mata and the kids. After Mata recovered, but after the birth of the kids, she spent more and more time in wandering the forest and giving the love to all the plants and nature, because she said that she could see in the future that this plant life will diminish or vanish at some point. So, and whenever she would walk in the forest, she would touch and caress and love all the plants, because she's like giving, as if she's giving the manifestation, grow, babies, grow, you will grow one day and be happy. So as if, she's giving that positive energy manifestation to those plants. That's how it felt when Mata touched and blessed, as if somebody's like blessing the plants. And Mata says that, I want to give that positive energy, that positive flow to these plants so they never die, they never diminish. And Mata then asked, one day she was talking to Soma and she says, Soma, what do you think? You rather be here with me or you rather be in the palace? Because you have let go of all the special treatment as a maid of a queen that would get, right? You could have stayed in the palace in the easy life, but you are here, you have to go collect the water, you have to go collect the fruits. So that might not be, living in a jungle might not be easy for you. She says, Mata, I will rather be here than anywhere else in the world because I want to be with you. That's the love and bond that Soma had with Mata. Mata also told that Mata also told to Soma that she has to deal with all that Ravan's negative energy and the weaponry that was used between both the parties, between Ram and Ravan, to during that war. Vasundhara Ma at the end of the day is suffering. It was then that Soma understood that the gravity of the situation, why Mata is in jungle in the first place. Such a war does not occur without leaving an imprint on human and the plant life and the whole planet in the whole. It was Shri Ram's role to plant the seeds for the flowing of this new civilization. It was Mata's work to heal the damage that was done, that has been due and was done by the war. So this ends my chapter 19. I will start chapter 20 since we have a few more minutes. Give me 1 second, please. The chapter 20 is the education of love and push. For the first few years after the birth of her children, Mata was fully immersed in taking care of her kids. And those were the very happy years, Soma says. It felt like, the kids are crawling, they're touching the grass, their motor skills are developing, their sensory skills are developing, and how they would crawl and touch the plants besides, and try to climb on the trees, try to play with the animals, and sometimes they would not be scared. They would like to play with the tigers and their cubs as if, they're like stuffed toys, as I might say in our world, in our language in these days, right? Our kid, I have some of the kids in the daycare that are even scared of a dog. So, but these kids, love and push were so strong because, they're kids from a two highly positive energy people, Ram and Sita. So they were not afraid of anything. They had immense possibilities to go do whatever they want. So this place was very heavenly at this point, Soma says, because, even if one child comes in our house, how our lives change. Imagine your own kids when they were born. So here there were two of them, right? So they're crawling and trying to, and eventually they're growing and how things are happening. So, and she says that Mata wanted them to feel part of that love to the natural world. She also wanted them to develop courage and strength. So she allowed them to encounter the larger forest creatures while they were there. And they were not scared because at the end of the day, they were Ramji's kids. Excuse me. And soon people started, and once Mata settled down with the kids were a little growing, people were coming because Mata was a healer as well, right? So Mata was healing people with the medicines that she was doing that even since when she was her child herself, right? When how she used to go to hermitages and heal people, right? So people knew that Mata was here, so they would come with their problems, how with their issues, health issues, and everything. About the general, about farming, and Mata could take care of a lot of things. At the end of the day, she was a queen, she was a goddess. Even though she was in a human body, she had a lot of capabilities. So one day, Mata was in the forest. One of the saints came and they said that I'm a like an Ayurvedic doctor. You can consider him. Like I heal people with these plants, but I cannot find a certain plant. And Mata says, okay, I will go in the jungle and see if I can find a substitute for the plant. So when Mata goes into the jungle, she sees that yes, that Rishi, that saint was right. There's that plant is dying, that because of the care or the weather changing, but the plant is dying. So Mata finds him another plant that is a substitute and will give the same healing properties. So he's very happy that Mata found a substitute and that will help his patients. So then after a few years after this, Chandrika, remember our Chandrika, whose husband left with the Sarupnakha, whose Sarupnakha was not in a form of a demon at that time. She was in a form of a Rishi Putri, a saint's daughter. And so basically Chandrika husband gets lured and gets into her web and he leaves Chandrika alone. So Chandrika gets a tag of an abandoned woman. So Mata heals her and then Mata gets kidnapped and she goes to the exile she stays in the exile. While coming back, she had stopped along with Ramji and Sita had stopped at Chandrika's house and they had blessed Chandrika that you will have a son. Then Chandrika asked, how will I have a son? I'm a widow. I mean, sorry, yes, I'm a widow. Because her husband leaves her first and then Ramji does the last rites for Chandrika's husband. Because they found Ramji finds the dead body of Chandrika's husband. So she says, how can I have a child? I am a widow. So she says that then Ramji says, the love and you had given to Sita while she was in exile, the protection shield that you have helped uh, form around Sita. I bless you that there will be a child that will be like your husband abandoned you in this birth. Your husband will take a form of a child and his mother will abandon. And then when he will get abandoned by his own mother, he will come wandering in the jungle and then you take care of that child. So basically this child that Chandrika brings to get the blessing, seek the blessings of the Mata is her husband from previous birth. And I hope everything is, because I'm trying to recap the Chandrika story. So I hope that's clear because I don't want people to get lost who Chandrika was. So Chandrika comes to see Mata and Mata was very happy to see her son. So she says, Mata, how could I not come? Whatever I have today, if I'm alive today, basically is because of you. But again, she's kind of also upset, just like Shanta, that Mata, she feels like how people are talking, that basically Mata has been kicked out of the palace. So then Mata tells her the whole thing, like how the curse and everything. And so Mata says that, this is what it is, and I am happy. Don't take anything wrong. Don't think what people are saying. Mata also tells Chandrika, like, what the love that you had for your husband, it is your love that has earned him the opportunity to come make amends with you. So Mata says that love can moderate karmic conditions. This is one of the things that we can take in our today's life, that any negative energy or any negative relationship that we have, if you give that relationship love, that can even moderate that karmic conditions that we have. So Mata then coming back to Mata, Shanta is still upset. Mata, why must you suffer? Who the essence? Who are you? Are the pure form of a goddess. Why are you suffering? So Mata was still calm, and then Mata says that this is our dharma. I'm here and I'm following my dharma. This is my soul planning, and you have to tell people how a woman, even a woman who has been abandoned by her husband, what can she do? You have to tell people that how a woman, how strong that can be. Mata says you have to show the world what a woman who is abandoned by the husband and society can achieve. Show the world how you brought him back to the path of dharma, that your husband, who was a husband in the previous birth, with your love and connection, you brought him back in this world, right? And now he's your child. He's going to still get distracted, but you have, from day one, he came, as since he came into your under your guidance, you have guided him him on the path of dharma. And because of that dharma and the meditation, the education, the right path, as we have given, as you have given to him, he will be chose to be on the right path. That's what we parents, as parents, do, right? We try our best to teach all the religious ceremonies, all the meditation, whatever we want our kids to, so the kids choose the right path. So in future, if they have any kind of a difficulty, instead of choosing going to the wrong path, they choose to be on the right path. We cannot change their soul planning. At least we can help that, put that seed in their mind of meditation. So that's what we try to do as parents. So Mata says that that after that conversation, they stayed. Chandrika stays there for a few days. They have uh, conversations about the spirituality, meditation. They would sit in the meditation for long hours. And after a few days, Chandrika leaves, takes Mata's leave. And so at this point, Soma says that Mata spends more time in meditation, and Soma is the one who's taking care of the kids. There are two cottages. Soma takes care of the kids at night, so Mata could stay in meditation all night. And when the kids are around about 6 years of age, and Mata develops a routine for telling the kids the stories, more like what Patri sir did with Swadhyay series, right? So, excuse me. So each night, Mata would pick the story of one of the saints. This is her way of teaching the kids how women sages are also very strong. Because at school, at the Dharamshala, at the Gurukul that they're going, at the school, basically, they're teaching. The society is already at this point where women sages are still getting a little bit minus from their books, right? So at school, they're learning about all the rishis, all the men sages, right? But the women sages, Mata is giving the knowledge to her kids through Swadhyay. So every night she would pick one saint, how powerful these women sages are and what they have done for society. Because how you see, so far we have never heard about Shanta. So that's how Shanta was minus from the chapters, right? So that night, Mata, I will say this last story and then we'll move on to the meditation. So that this night, Mata picks up the topic of Rishi Ansuya and her husband Rishi Atri, Sage Atri, and how they have how Rishi Ansuya saw that the plants were diminishing, right? And animals were dying, and how one tigress is like, I have lived in this jungle for so long, just because there's no water, why half of my family has already died, please. And she and the tigress begs of Rishi Ansuya to take care of this whole situation of this. The water is not there, plants are not there because other plants are not there, the animals are not there. So basically, this tigress is also starving. So Rishi Ansuya sits for meditation for very long. She goes to the Brahmalok, and she wants to bring the river down to earth. So the river says that I will come to earth only if you create that whole environment, the friendly environment. So Mata Ansuya, she sits in meditation, and with years and years, all these gods and goddesses try to distract her, bring hurdles into her meditation. But in the end, with her tapasya, with the power of her meditation, she's successful in her whole planning of bringing that part of whole Brahman down to earth, so the river can flow down to earth. And if the water is there, the animals will come. If the whole life cycle of the animals will go on. So at this point, Kush and Love and Kush were very surprised that our power of meditation is so strong that whatever we wish, we can get it. So Mata says it's this whole power of meditation, as Patri sir has taught us, is locked inside. We have the power to unlock that. And tapasya, when we do meditation, it will unlock our. You must remember that always their eyes were, and they're very surprised. How is that possible? Mata says, yes, this gift is given to the humans. And these humans are very ignorant. It takes much practice and training to awaken this willpower. Only for now, these rishis, the big saints and these sages have these power, and they have the secret to know how this tapasya can be unlocked, how can to sit in the meditation. So Patri sir has given us this whole opportunity and made this whole very simple by getting the knowledge through swadhyay, getting he taught one person, and the one person taught 10 people, and those 10 people taught another 20 people. So the chain of this goodness kept on going and is still going. So and so the next night Mata will pick up another story, and we will start with our next story as well as next week. Thank you for listening to me, masters, and I open the floor for any questions or any thoughts you guys want to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Surbhi madam. It's been long time I read this book, and it's so many. This chapter was one of my favorite as well. Because it introduces many sages.
Stages, yes. Yes.
Ram's sister, Chandrika, everyone, right?
It basically
Kathy.
it's a recap of
Yeah,
most of the previous sages. Yes,
yeah.
but with the story of and I like this recap because people who have joined later and they didn't get chance to listen to the previous chapters, it kind of gives them. That's why I wanted to give a little bit introduction to Chandrika, who Chandrika was. So if somebody has not heard the previous chapters, they can just get an idea who Chandrika was.
Right. That was very nice. Yeah. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. So, anyone has any questions for Surbhi madam?
Okay, thank you, Arunaji. Thank you, Sudhaji. Thank you, Sushmaji. I will see you guys next week. Have a good night and have a great time meditating. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Surbhi madam.
Thank you.
So, are you guys ready for meditation? Okay, so let me start the music. So, both of you sit comfortably, cross your legs, clasp your hands, close your eyes, and gently focus on your natural, normal, and soft breath. It's just you and your breath. No thoughts, masters. Disconnect yourself from all the people, from all the situations, from all the surroundings. This time is just for yourself. Absolutely no thoughts. Just focus on your breath. 30 seconds. Come back to this physical body. Wiggle your toes. Gently move your hands. On count of 5, open your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may open your eyes with a big smile on your face. Thank you, Masters. Thank you, Aruna. So we will meet next week again.